get comfortable with is letting people veer off your track. Sometimes they're just not supposed to be on the track with you, and that's okay. They can get right, or they can get left, or they can get left to get right. I love that phrase. What's up, y'all? How y'all doing? Listen, I'm so excited to be here. I can't believe I'm actually doing this. It's so weird. Mind you, this is my first time recording a long form video. So if I'm looking off to myself, don't mind me. Just give me some time to get used to it. I wanted to get on here and I wanted to speak about moving on and letting go. Let's get into it. So with moving on and letting go, I feel like a lot of people look at it from the viewpoint of relationships. So we're gonna keep it at that. But I want to say that the same principle still applies, whether it's a friendship, a job, you want to change your environment, whatever. So I figured this was a good time to talk about this topic because 2025 is coming to an end, and with the end of the year, a lot of people are thinking about the new things and the new beginnings that they want to have for themselves. And some of those require moving on and letting go of things from the past, people, places, things, habits, addictions, old versions of you, whatever. And am I blending in too much? I need to come over a little bit. I don't know, it's just not as light. I don't think that's gonna change. I think you should just leave it. Just film it, fuck it. So imagine you're on a journey, and as you're on this journey, you're making a letter V like this. So you're coming down this way, there's another person that's coming down this way, and you guys meet at a certain point. And when you guys meet at that certain point, you're making a decision to either continue that journey together or to continue going your separate ways. So there comes a point and you can either make a V off or you can walk parallel together. And as you're going along this parallel journey together, you're learning a lot about each other. You're learning who each other are. You're learning about their background. You're learning things you like about them, things you don't like about them. You're learning about your character. You're learning about how they feel about certain things, how they deal with conflicts, how they handle this, how they handle that. And it's some journeys that you enjoy. And there are other journeys that probably don't last that long, or journeys that last for a certain season, but then they veer off and do whatever. But the point I'm trying to make is eventually along that parallel journey, you're going to come to another point. There's going to be another point that you and that person meet. And at that point is when you have to decide, am I going to continue this journey with this person? Or is this person not going to be on the journey with me anymore? The timing of that varies, but that's also the piece that a lot of people try to control. And that's where moving on and letting go gets difficult, because you're trying to control how it's supposed to be. But the one thing that I really want to emphasize is when it comes to the journey, you have to be focused on your journey. Yes, you may want things to go a certain way. You may want this person to change. You may want this person to evolve. You may want this person to do things differently. You may want a certain outcome in the situation, but there's a certain piece of that outcome that is just not up to you. And it's dependent on the other person, and the other person has to make that choice to give you that desired outcome. The only part of that outcome that you can control is your part of the outcome. What I mean by that, so I don't lose my people here. When you're on a journey with people, you can only talk and say and express and challenge and try to make so much right. You can only do so much as a single person. It takes two people. And so if the other person isn't being reciprocal, or isn't pulling their weight, or isn't trying to solve the situation with you, and this is vice versa, because you as a person may have to make a choice to do that too. Pride is a motherfucker. Ooh, can I say that on YouTube? Pride is not a good thing, and it really gets people in trouble sometimes. But when it comes to your choice and the outcome and the path that you want to take and the journey that you want to live for yourself, you have to be mindful of what you experienced on your journey with this person. And you can only take it for what it is. You can say, for example, let's just say you're dating somebody, because this is the easiest way I can do it, and they just are not giving you what you need. But this person could give you what you need, but they're not doing it. You can only yell, complain, talk to, challenge, whatever that person to get them to do that a certain amount of times, until they make the choice to say, damn, I want to do this for this person, you're beating a dead horse. And if you know that you want to be treated a certain way, you need to be mindful of that outcome and just move on and go get that. That's not saying you can't forgive people. People can't change. People can't evolve. Things can't be different. People can't come back around. I'm not saying none of that. But what I am saying is at that certain point, at that moment, you have to look at what you're given in that moment and make a choice from that. And let's just say you do decide to not continue your journey with this person and that person goes off and does whatever and you guys meet at a point again. If things are different, things can be different. But until things change on that other person's side or your side or whatever, you're going to keep running into the same issues and just keep repeating the same journey and keep repeating the same loop that you may not even need to repeat. Controlling and or forcing somebody to do something that you want them to do but they don't naturally want to do is just gonna backfire on you and gonna create resentment with that person. It's gonna make you angry, it's gonna make them angry, and it's just gonna be a whole lot of headbutting. And so it's like the only thing that you can do as a person is just save yourself the heartache. Free both of y'all and make this decision that's best for you and the outcome that you want. And honestly, maybe the outcome that you want is, I want this person to change and be better and we live happily ever after. You sometimes have to give them the space to do that. They have to come to that realization that they want that same outcome as you, and they're going to put in the work and the effort to make that outcome happen. But unless they do that, again, you're repeating the same loop. So as you go into 2026, you may be at a point where you have to go on a journey without some people, go on a journey without some things, go on a journey without certain situations or environments. And that's okay, because at the end of the day, you're going to get another point. And maybe you don't need to be on a journey with that person anymore. Maybe it's just run its course. It did what it needed to do. Or maybe your journey changes. Maybe your journey looked one way with the person and now it needs to be something a little different. Whatever, there are so many possibilities and things that can happen. And the one thing that you have to get comfortable with is letting people veer off your track. Sometimes they're just not supposed to be on the track with you. And that's okay. They can get right, or they can get left, or they can get left to get right. I love that phrase. Nothing lasts forever. Like nothing. Yes, you can have things for a long time. Things can definitely be long term, but at the end of the day, nothing out here lasts forever. You as a person don't even last forever. So you can't expect your relationship with somebody to last forever. But forever is a different topic that I'm gonna save for a different video, so be on the lookout for that. Does my lighting look better now? It got a little bit more sunnier in here. I can't really tell. I like these. That's perfect. So I want to sum this up by saying some people aren't meant to walk with you the whole way. They're meant to walk with you until the next turn. And maybe that turn is where you have to let go. So when it comes to moving on and letting go, I want you to remember this. Life is a series of paths where you meet people at certain points. After those points, you can choose to walk a certain level of your journey together. And sometimes you don't walk them with that person at all. And it's not a guarantee that the path and the journey with that person will last forever. You have to release the need to control. Trying to force or dictate someone else's path and telling them the journey that you guys should go upon is just going to create more friction, more imbalance, and just a bunch of unnecessary chaos that doesn't need to be given to the situation. You have to accept the veer. Letting go is about letting people do their own thing, especially when their path doesn't align with yours anymore. If they're truly meant to be in your life in a certain level of capacity, it'll come back around in the right way that it's supposed to. Or it'll change or evolve into a healthier way that it's supposed to be. When you make a choice for yourself, always make it based on the facts of that situation and not the assumptions. Look at what's being presented to you today, not the potential, not what it could be, not what they said to you 2 months ago, not what your mama want to say, not what your friends think about the person. What is true for you based on the fact that you know? And ultimately, what I want you guys to leave with is that when you're making a choice to move on or let go of someone, you're doing it for you. And if that person, again, wants to get right after they get left, they have to choose that direction. You can't choose it for them. And that's all I have on my video today. That was so interesting to record. If you like this video, definitely let me know in the comments. Let me know some topics that you guys want me to talk about. I ain't gonna lie, I could go on for days. I got a lot of shit to say. Because I don't know if I can say that on YouTube or not. But I want to thank you guys for tuning into this video. I would tell y'all to like, share, and subscribe, but honestly, if you know what's going on, you'll handle big business. I trust that you will handle big business. So as we go into 2025, or as we end 2025, I wish you guys a safe and happy new year. I pray that 2026 is full of new beginnings and fresh blessings for you guys. And I hope that this video is able to help you move on and let go of everything that you don't want to take with you into the new year. So with that being said, I'll talk to you guys next time. Bye.